If you got a daughter out here, you need to put them in some martial art, whether it be jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, wrestling, boxing, any of those, you need to put her in it. I'm gonna give you a couple tips for being a girl dad, and my daughter is in jiu-jitsu, so I'm gonna give you a couple tips for those BJJ girl dads. But get your kids into jiu-jitsu. When you're having a kid and it's a daughter, all these things go through your head. You wanna protect your daughter, you wanna show your daughter how it is to be a husband, how it is to be a father. You want to show all these things. Your daughter is born, she gets a little older, she may not be daddy's little girl. She may be mommy's little girl. But from what they tell me is to hang in there, dads. Eventually, the daughters will come over to the dark side with the dads. And so eventually they become daddy's little girl. If you're just having a daughter or you're having your first daughter, just hang in there. She may be a daddy's little girl. She may not be, but it's all a blessing all the same. But hang in there, dads. They'll come over to the dark side eventually. Tip number 2 for girl dads, or soon to be girl dads. When they're older, you want to be able to foster open lines of communication, because you want your daughter to be able to tell you, or to be able to tell you anything and everything, and have those uncomfortable conversations. She has to be comfortable being able to have those conversations with you as a dad. What I do, my daughter is 7, so when she gets a little older, we'll find out, but she is able to be honest and tell me things, and I appreciate that. I don't shut it down. Sometimes she could be on the disrespectful side, but we're working on that. She's learning, but she's able to tell me how she's feeling, or daddy, I don't like this, or daddy, stop, or whatever the case may be. And you want to foster that, and you want to nurture that, because you want her to be able to communicate effectively, whether it be with a person of supervision, a spouse, a boyfriend. You want to be able to communicate effectively so she can get her point across. And what I do is I tell her, hey, baby, you can tell me anything, you know that, right? She'll say yes. I was like, anything, as long as you tell me the truth, it's a high possibility you will not get in trouble. I may be upset, but if you tell me the truth, I won't be upset. Number 2 tip for girl dads and BJJ girl dads is to foster that open line of communication so she can feel comfortable having those uncomfortable conversations with you, especially when she gets a little older. Tip number 3 for girl dads and BJJ girl dads. You want to go on dates. Show her, not only through your spouse or your girlfriend, show her how a woman is supposed to be treated. Open the door for her, pay for things, obviously, because you're a dad. Do things that you want done to her, so it becomes normal for when she starts to date. That's my goal with my girls. Another tip for girl dads and or BJJ girl dads. Just be present, man. A lot of times my daughter just wants to play. Sometimes I'm tired, but I also have to remember that she's not gonna ask me to play forever. So sometimes I try and keep that in mind, even though I'm tired when I get off of work, or even though I'm tired when I go training. When she asks me to play, as long as we have homework done, as long as we have all the things that she needs to be done as far as chores and other things, I'm gonna play with her. Whatever that case may be, we're gonna play. Just be present for your girls or your girl, because that's all that matters. Here's a BJJ tip if you're just starting your kid out in the combat sports, specifically daughters, because daughters need to know how to protect themselves out here. It's gonna be hard when your daughter first starts jiu-jitsu or any kind of combat sports. There's gonna be tears, it's gonna be hard, but in the long run, they're gonna appreciate being in the sport, and the confidence is gonna be out of this world when they get used to training this combat sport. Because I don't know about you, but I want my daughter to be able to protect herself, God forbid, in the event that she has to protect herself. So the tip I can give for a girl dad and or BJJ girl dad, is going to be hard at the beginning when they start that combat sport, but keep them in it. Foster that communication, foster that emotion, let her cry, comfort her, tell her she's doing well, tell her you're proud of her, because it was a rough start for my daughter, but she's doing exponentially good now. So keep them in it. However hard it is, keep them in it. Last tip for girl dads, being a girl dad and or BJJ girl dad. Practice before class or after class. Doesn't have to be too much, especially if they're 8 and younger. Doesn't have to be an hour. Just don't have to work too hard yet, depending upon if they're competing or not. My daughter isn't competing yet. She hasn't spoken on that yet. When she starts competing, we'll be practicing a little harder. But practice a little bit before class. Get some mats. Practice the technique that they're teaching in the class, so when she's ready to go to class, she's prepared. Practice a defense that she's been struggling in right now. Well, before, my daughter was struggling with exposing her neck. We practiced that for about 2 weeks. Now nobody touches her neck. Practice mount defense, because that's going to happen. She's going to get mounted. Practice how to get out of mount. Make it a game even. But that's very, very important, is that you practice the techniques, whether it be jiu-jitsu, wrestling, boxing, Muay Thai. You practice that technique only for about 30 minutes before and after class, and exponentially you'll see the improvement, because she'll remember and she'll take that information into the class. And it will also foster that she has to work hard later in life. That's what I'm hoping. I've been telling my daughter practice makes perfect since she was 2 years old. And so she knows that we have to practice and we have to train to be better. These are the tips for girl dads and BJJ girl dads. If you're a new girl dad, congratulations to you. You're doing great. If you're a new BJJ girl dad or combat sports girl dad, keep a minute, hang in there, encourage them, practice with them. This is Patrick. This is 40 and Flowing. See you next time.